One of the advantages of establishing your business or even sourcing in Africa is the cost.
This is Francesca, a young Ivorian entrepreneur who owns a unique fashion brand and is building one of the biggest brands in Africa.
Nigerians, they're doing that. Ghanaian as well, but where are we? We all neighbors, but we are not on the global fashion scene. So I wanted to be one of the people who would be just lift Ivory Coast in terms of fashion. I love my country a lot, and I want my country to be like on the top. Some of the industries are not saturated yet. So you still have like time and space to express when I came back here, one of my biggest challenges was being the boss. Being the boss when you are young here is hard, okay?
So as someone who loves traveling and telling African stories, I am launching a new series about showcasing not only the beauty of Africa, but also the entrepreneur spirit to shine a light on the incredible narratives of African startups and business.
Listen, this is supposed to be a Pan-African brand, so I want everyone in Africa to be like, this is my brand.
Through sharing the stories, my mission is to inspire and uplift others, shedding light on the boundless talent and potential that Africa holds.
I am Francesca Assande. I am the CEO and designer of the brand MULIAS. But Abidjan as a whole, as a city, has shaped me as a woman who can just take on any challenges.
So what was it like to succeed in the clothing firms that sells swimwear like this across as an African brand?
I had to find something that was gonna bring me joy. And for me, that was fashion, because honestly, I didn't know what else I would do. I think entrepreneurship for me was the gateway. Let's start this over.
I'm Farouk Damlala. Introduce yourself. Like, what do you do? Brands and...
All right, so hello everyone. My name is Francesca Assande. I am the CEO, designer, and creator of the brand MULIAS Swim, which is a swimwear brand. We'll get into that a bit later.
How's your fashion brand like? When did you start your fashion brand?
So I started my fashion brand back in 2015.
Okay.
When I was 19 years old. I started that in my student dormitory while I was going to school. So it started as a side hustle that I was doing like on the side. And then we were selling the pieces from my house here in Abidjan. So I didn't have a store back then. We were just selling it like at home. So people used to come to my house, to my bedroom, to actually try on the clothes, try on the swimsuit, etc., and make the purchase.
Wow. What actually inspired the choice of starting a fashion business brand in Africa, especially Ivory Coast?
So, apart from me always wanting to work in fashion, I think in 2015 there was no store or brand that were focusing on this niche, like the resort wear, swimwear type of niche. No one was doing that. So basically at that time, if you needed trendy swimsuits, etc., where would you go?
You have to like go to online. To like order.
Online, you know how it works in Africa.
Yeah.
So there was literally not many people. Maybe there were one selling like one swimsuit here and there, but it wasn't like my business is based on swimsuits. So that's where I came in and I'm like, listen, we are in 2015. This is not existing in Ivory Coast, that's number one. Number two, when I was looking at the economical landscape, I don't know if that makes sense. Like when you look at the economy of Abidjan, the way it was growing, I'm like, okay, in a few years, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have like many beach clubs and people are gonna start partying in like at the beach or at the pool.
And Abidjan is the city of Paya.
Exactly, we like the Paya. So obviously this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So when you look at those 2 points, and on top of that, there were no real Ivorian brands that made it global. We only have like 2 right now, 2 or 3, I would say. But apart from that, you don't see an Ivorian brand that is like selling globally, that is having recognition. We don't see Ivorian people in the global fashion landscape. So I was like, listen, Nigerians, they're doing that. Ghanaian as well, but where are we? We all neighbors, but we are not on the global fashion scene. So I wanted to be one of the people who would be there, who would just lift Ivory Coast in terms of fashion. Yeah.
Oh,
So I wanted to create value from that.
on that.
Oh yeah, we've been featured in some magazines and online magazines as well, like Glamour and British Vogue. And we've also sold some of our pieces in New York this summer.
Oh,
So yeah, that's it so far.
wow. I love
Yeah.
it. That's nice.
There'll be more.
There's going to be more.
Yeah.
How did the name come? How did it come from?
Well, the name actually came up from a word. I mean, yeah, it's a word from Indonesia, from Bali actually.
What does it mean?
It means goddess, honorable, respectable, very like, and it reminded me a lot of how people see the Akan tribe. They see us as like very goddessy, wearing gold all the time. And I was like, okay, it's a word that nobody has ever heard. So I'll just take that, put an S on it, and here we are. Yeah.
Okay, so do you design most of your...
Well, Mulias, we design everything by ourselves. I'm the one doing it actually because I have like an extra small team. So we design the prints, the cuts, everything. We try to make sure that we always have quality products. Regardless of the quantity that we produce, it always needs to be quality, always. So yeah.
So how is the creative process like? Why?
The creative process is, as a solo entrepreneur, sometimes very rough.
I understand.
But it goes like this basically. I try to see what my customer needs. And this is like up until now, because we're about to change things up again. So up until now, I will just look at the data, what my customers want, what kind of shapes are they looking for, and I'll try to design around that. So I'll pick a print and I'll try to make a compelling story about the print, what it represents for me or for the brand, and then I will just design the actual swimsuits and the resort wear around it. And we will make the sample. I outsource everything, so I make the samples outside, and once the sample come, I make sure that all the adjustments are right, if the grading of the sizes is okay, etc. Then I send it back for the bulk production.
Wow.
And when the bulk is done, they just send it back to Abidjan.
Okay, in what way do you think investing in Africa has an advantage to the continent?
Okay. If we look at the fashion industry, I think one of the advantages of establishing your business or even sourcing in Africa is the cost, for sure.
Wow.
The labor cost is not as high as it would be in certain countries, even in Africa.
Yeah.
And on top of it, there is the cultural aspect as well.
Yeah.
But if we're speaking of like an entrepreneur just setting up his company here, I think the advantages are that most of the industries are not saturated yet. So you still have like time and space to express what you're trying. Yes, what you're trying to. Exactly. You can try things. You still have space to grow, but in a steady way. You don't have to like chase. And sometimes we make a mistake, and I think I've made that mistake before.
Okay.
Which is you go outside, you go to another country. You're studying there, you're getting this knowledge, and then as soon as you get here, you want to apply the same knowledge that you had overseas
to
Ivory Coast. And sometimes it clashes.
Oh.
Because our economy is not ready for certain things, Even in other countries in Africa, I'm sure it's the same.
It's the same, yeah, you're right.
You cannot just come and act the same way as you
have
act
to be
in the Western.
innovative. You have to create something.
Yes. And I've made that mistake before, for sure. I wanted to apply every little thing that I've learned. Every strategy, every little thing. I wanted to do that because for me, that's why I studied.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go like that when you're in Africa. So you really have to be wary of that. You need to assess your environment. And once you assess it, I think there is not many obstacles that are left. So I think this is the most important thing when you come here in Africa.
Any cultural differences or something that actually shape you? When we're talking about Abidjan, you live in Abidjan before, so before you move out to study and everything. So is there anything that shape your creative process while creating your fashion that has to deal with Côte d'Ivoire, for example?
I think first thing would be the fact that I am Ani, which is from the Akan tribe.
Okay.
Honestly, I think for me, it all goes from there.
Okay.
You know, the way Akan people dress, the way they're like super proud of themselves. It's also a characteristic that most Ivorian have. They are very proud people. They are very proud of themselves, and they like to showcase how proud they are.
Ivorian are so proud of their country.
Yeah.
They're like showing it like.
So I think this has always given me a sort of confidence wherever I'm going, because I feel like I have been through a lot in these cultural settings. So when I'm outside, you know, a lot of things don't faze me.
Okay.
So I would say that Abidjan as a whole, as a city, has shaped me as a woman who can just take on any challenges.
Wow.
You know, and this was very amplified once I got in China. Because, I mean, it's a country where they don't speak French.
Okay.
They hardly speak English. So you have to be in that type of environment where you like go getter. You have to
make it, you have to survive.
Exactly. And I'm very patriotic. I think I love my country a lot, and I want my country to be like
Top.
Like on the top. Yes. So anything that I do, I always want people to remember me as that Ivorian girl. I was the first one in my university, for example. The first Ivorian person in my university.
Wow.
So I want them to remember me when
Ivorian are known for that. They are known for actually being patriotic.
Yeah.
And they love talking about themselves, what they have. What are the challenges that you face while coming up with Mulia's Brand and going after other countries, like you doing a lot of countries? What are the challenges you face trying to settle in Ivory Coast that you just come from in China when you just finished school, trying to establish in Ivory Coast and also to the other side of the Africa and the world?
So when I came back here, one of my biggest challenges was being the boss.
The boss.
Yeah. Being the boss when you are young here is hard, okay? Because in our culture, you're supposed to respect the elders. You know, it's not even about disrespect, but once you are a young person and you are, you know,
kind of
above others who are older than you, they don't take directions well from you because they feel like you're a child and you're giving them directions. Why? So this is
respecting them.
When I'm not, I'm just telling you what to do.
What the right thing.
Yes, so this has been very, very difficult in the first years for me, like absolutely difficult. I had to ask my mom sometimes to help me manage people, and this was like a stab in my heart. Like I've done all of this and now I have to ask my mom to talk to my employees.
So managing people is your number one? Yeah,
this was the number one problem. I don't have that problem anymore, obviously, because now we're kind of like the same age. Wow. But before, when I was 19, 20.
So do you have plans of having Mulia's store in other part of the country?
Yeah, definitely. If we have the means, we'll do.
Which country would you like to
Senegal first.
Senegal first?
Yeah.
Out of Nigeria?
Senegal first, then Nigeria.
Okay.
Then Accra. Mm-hmm. Then South Africa.
South Africa. Wow. You want to take
over the whole Africa? Oh yeah. Listen, this is supposed to be a Pan-African brand. So I want everyone in Africa to be like, this is my brand, this is my brand, this is my brand, this is 5 years. This is my brand, this is my brand.
It's going to be everywhere.
So yeah, that's really what I want people, especially the women, you know, I do this for the women. So I want them to wear it with pride and be like, this is our brand that we made. We made this brand, you know, because they're part of everything that we do. If it's not them, we wouldn't be here. You know, I don't have loans at the bank or anything like that. Everything is self-funded. So we have to.
When you first started, how is it for you?
It was very empowering. I felt like I was doing something and that my they were also trusting me with the money because I borrowed money from my dad to start it.
Wow.
So for them to give me money for that means that they trusted me with the money and I gave them back that money.
Oh.
So I felt empowered.
Okay. Do you feel, can you tell us how much you used to set up, to start?
Yeah, of course.
It's how much did you borrow from that?
It was 500 mil from here.
Wow.
Yes. So back then it was about $900.
Wow, $900.
Yes.
That's how you used to start.
Exactly.
So what advice do you have for any other person that want to venture into fashion business in Africa, or entrepreneurs that are also trying to start something? What advice can you give?
I would just tell them to go step by step, to make sure that they really know what they're trying to put out before just trying anything. You know, if you're actually starting a brand, so to say, I think you should go like, okay, this is what I want, this is who I want it for, this is where I want it, you know. I think when you have those answers, things are like way more straightforward. Yeah, so you can go a bit smoother on your way to the top. And
like, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Francesca
Assande.
Yes. So thank you for this beautiful moment. Putting Africa on the map. Putting the product, for showing that you're an African, and for also putting your product in the face of the world. That okay, we Africans, we can also do this.
We also do this indeed. We do great swimwear.
Thank you so much. So
in Ivory Coast, I'm just somewhere in the world, baby, living life. I think that's it. We did pretty good, huh? For the first time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.
For more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.